They say room 873 doesn't exist. If you walk down the 8th floor hallway at the Banff Springs Hotel, you'll notice something strange. 872 and 874. No 873. But there used to be. And if I had known what really happened behind that missing door, I would have never checked in. I came to Banff that weekend to clear my head. Or at least, that's what I told myself. The hotel's grandeur, with its Gothic stone towers and pine-scented mountain air, was supposed to feel peaceful. Instead, it felt like the walls were watching. At check-in, the quirk's smile faltered for just a second when she saw my room number. 8th floor? She hesitated, typing something into the computer. Then she nodded quickly. You're in 874. Enjoy your stay. It was only when I stepped out of the elevator that I realized what she had done. The numbers jumped. 872, and then 874. But the wall between them was oddly wide, like there should have been another door. I ran my hand across the wallpaper. Underneath the patterned surface, I could feel an outline, a door frame.
Later that evening, I went down to the lounge. The bartender, an older guy who looked like he'd worked there forever, struck up conversation. When I mentioned my room, he gave me a look I'll never forget. "You're staying near 873?" he asked. Then he leaned closer. "We don't talk about that room much. Family was murdered there. Man, his wife, and their little girl. Happened sometime in the 1920s, back when the place first opened." He glanced toward the empty hallway beyond the bar. "They cleaned the room, repainted everything, but guests kept complaining. Screams at night, blood smears on the mirrors. Even the cleaners refused to go in after a while, so management sealed it up, built a wall right over the door." He chuckled nervously. "You'll be fine, though, as long as you don't knock." I laughed it off until around midnight. The hallway was dead silent when I went out to get ice. My footsteps echoed down the long, carpeted stretch of stone corridor. The air was colder near that section of wall, so cold I could see my breath. That's when I heard it. 3 faint knocks from inside the wall. I froze. The sound came again, softer this time, like someone tapping from the other side of plaster. I pressed my ear to the wallpaper, and beneath it, I heard a whisper. A woman's voice, trembling. "Help me." I stumbled back, dropped the ice bucket, and bolted to my room. But even behind the safety of my locked door, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was standing in the hallway, waiting. I woke at 3:13 a.m. to a sound, faint breathing, just beside my bed. The lights were off, but the window reflected enough moonlight for me to see the mirror on the opposite wall. At first, it was just my reflection, and then another appeared behind me, small, pale, child-sized. The air dropped 10 degrees. I could see my breath rising in front of me, and then the screaming started. A woman's voice, full of terror, echoing from nowhere and everywhere at once. I flicked on the lamp. The mirror was covered in bloody handprints, tiny ones. I stumbled back, heart pounding, and the mirror cracked down the middle with a sharp snap. The handprints began to fade, but not disappear. By morning, I was half convinced I'd imagined it, until I saw the wall outside. Hotel staff were standing around it, whispering. The wallpaper had peeled away during the night, revealing an old wooden doorframe beneath the plaster. The number plate, faint, tarnished, read 873. I asked what had happened,
One of the maintenance workers shook his head. "Don't know how that came loose again," he said. "We just sealed it last month." That's when I noticed the mirror from my room, shattered, being wheeled down the hall on a cart. I checked out before noon. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still hear it, the faint tapping in the wall, like something's trying to remind me that room 873 was never really empty. They say every hotel has a story, but at the Banff Springs, some stories don't fade. They just get buried behind drywall. If you ever stay there, don't look too closely between 872 and 874, because if you do, you might hear someone knocking back.